Hello, welcome to today's analysis of the NQ and a bit of the S&P. So, what happened yesterday? Well, I was talking about structure and this whole Asian structure. I wasn't very convinced. I was really trying to look for places it could bounce. But yeah, there was just so much liquidity here. And US really just, wow, it just cleared the whole thing, you know? Cleared the whole thing. I wasn't expecting this on Thursday, right? But yeah, they just did it. So what did they come into? Well, they mitigated, they tapped the RTH gap. Where is it? This is the NAS. I don't want that. I want NQ1. CME. So they came into the RTH gap. They might have hit, yeah, they hit a block here, right? Small little block. Didn't really expect this block to do a job, but it did. Yes, they came into that. They rejected off that like really strongly. So yeah, made a lot of gaps here. Came up. Sydney took some liquidity. I think it just filled like a small fair value gap. Yeah, here. And Asia just kind of brought it down at the Tokyo close. And then we're waiting for UK. In this area here, on the ES, we had a really big SMT. Crazy huge. You can see this push down. Actually, I'll bring up the other window just so you can see that more clearly. So you can see on the NQ, she made basically flat lows, and on the ES, we had a huge sweep. That would have been juicy to get in on that, right? Yeah. So, I mean, I guess it's kind of typical, right? Like push the highs and then just like rip it back, you know. Yeah, during UK yesterday, it was a bit tricky. They kept putting inducement on these lows, and I was waiting for them to get swept early in the minute, and they didn't. And I ended up kind of, I kind of got a bit tilted with these lows here. I was waiting for them to sweep it into the block and then come up, and then they didn't. But even on the ES, it looked even worse. Man, it was like, it was a headache. It was a bit of a headache. Here, it's just like, what the hell's that? You know, what the hell's this? It's fine. It was an alright day yesterday. It was fine. So yeah, they just distributed up here during UK. Had a big sweep at the start of US. It was actually pre-market, I think, that did the sweep. Yeah, pre-market. Ripped it down. So what are we looking at today? Well, Friday again, and you know they like to make run for profits. They've really set themselves up here for potentially swipes just down into these liquidity pools. Like they've set up a rake of liquidity here. Right, like objectively we have a lot of liquidity under these lows, and then we have down here, it's alright, little liquidity grab, but I think if we come down here we're gonna have to really think about structure a lot. I want this to be, oh, you're the same color, that's why you're doing that. Let's see. Alright. So, what am I looking for in UK? Well, in UK, I either like a very clear break of structure leading into the UK Open for a continuation, or an external liquidity grab, followed by, like counter PA. So like if we get, let's say, liquidity grab down here, and I see some bullish PA at the right time, I might take a long. We have internal targets here. There was a small wash here during US. Excuse me. To me, it kind of separates these pockets of liquidity. Small little wash here, and it's a nice little block, and it's also point of control of this Sydney low that we bounced off. Not? I swear the point of control was right there. Oh, maybe it was this change, this structure. So we had this little structural change here. I was gonna consider that as the change of character. Oh no, that's above. Oh. Alright, well, it's not the point of control. But it was notable for me, that if we come up there and take some internal liquidity into it, I might look for a little short or something, depending on the situation. It's kind of notable that ES looks a bit better for liquidity there. It had very much a wash. I really like this block. Right? Like this block. So I was kind of seeing what ES would do coming into there, right? Like they want to bring it down for UK. Kind of interesting. The situation with ES though is this low is less primed for like a swing fail, in my opinion. Although actually, because they had this SMT, they could swing fail this low and push it up, but NQ has a bit more of a case built for these flat lows to be swing failed. So if they do bring it down, what do we have below us? Well, NQ, we came into this block created during Sydney. All right, this one, call this mitigated. So wouldn't necessarily want to be looking for price to things inside here unless it's very, very violent SFP. We had a small liquidity grab here, but all of the price actions here seems pretty used, right? These lows, they get taken. This gaping here, just this gaping liquidity. Kind of difficult to make a case for a bounce around here, if I'm going to be honest. Everything seems used. So we have an order block down here. This should be marked as the 10-minute. It's not the greatest. Not the greatest. It's something. It's effective recovery, but I mean, structure would be shifted pretty readily, wouldn't it? I would consider this pivot point being our break of structure. So we had this change of character, which was kind of micro structure here, but realistically, like this is could be just one big liquidity sweep if we don't break these lows, or if we really just violently SFP them. Perhaps we can target some internal liquidity. We had a little change of character here, and this change of character is more pronounced on the ES. Right. So, I don't really know about getting a bounce from inside here for UK. I don't really know. We've half an hour until the open. It's kind of feeling like we could just have a lower push. Right. We'll have to see. I don't really like this being counted as external liquidity for a grab. And we have these ascending highs here. I don't know, it's a bit tricky. We have the monthly close, the monthly candle close on Monday? Yeah. Well, Monday is the last day. So Monday's going to be interesting. Easy. Amount of liquidity here. Could just bring this down. Could just swipe the entire week, like they really could. They could just swipe all of this, you know. Friday's low back here. They could. The way they've set this up is just kind of terrifying. Large fair value gap here. Let's look at this consolidation before they broke down. It's not bad looking. Where was the little wash before the structural shift? I guess you could call it there. I don't know. That's a bit reserved. It's a bit far away, isn't it? Really a lot of activity around this low. Let's see if we have any breakers around here. We do. We need a half-an-hour breaker. Around that fair value gap. Around the point of control, I guess. And yeah. So short wise, I mean, I had levels above us, and I still do, that I would like to see getting hit. If we want to take this change of character is still, now that we've kind of, I mean, the way we made structure here now, this is an internal break, right? Not an S&P. This would be a break. The way they've made structure here, I guess they could do this internally, range this internally. Sydney has a lot of liquidity here. Curve. This area is interesting. You know, this little consolidation. Wow, look, it's right above the point of control. Could we swing fail these? I don't know. It's a bit iffy. Let's take a look at this whole range. Not even really a range, it's just kind of, it was just ascending. I mean, we had this guy back here. The main guy who set it up. Full range. Point control down here. The volume node, little volume gap. I mean, this green vector recovery is, for me, is the best case for looking for a bullish pull. Down here, right? I'm gonna mark out the point of control of this range, but I'm gonna really use it, but point of control. I want to see where UK swipes. This past range value area low, which was this consolidation back here. Seem to be fighting at it, right? And if they lose this, I mean, it feels like they'll need to find some support down here. You know, if we're losing the value area low of this, seems like we might need to come back down in here for some liquidity. So yeah, I'm a bit iffy about taking longs until this is kind of swept, until this liquidity is swept. Yes, again, it doesn't leave much space. ES has a block down there. Not a bad block. Take liquidity. Kind of. Yeah. That's all right. That's okay. It's a nice little pocket to come into. What did it lead to? Well, it had this SMT was part of it. It led to this kind of led to the push, didn't it? Kind of led to this massive break here. So that's all right. I might look for a long if it comes into there. But you know, they could just smash through the whole thing. But it's something to be noted of. That would be interesting. You know, because of the nature of this push up, my levels haven't really changed. Like, I still have my levels down here. We still have the RTH gap down here. We just mitigated this gap. Whether that means that they're like, okay, that's enough done for now, and now we come back into here, or they just want to keep pushing and filling orders in the gap. I mean, I don't really know. There's a long way until this gap is filled. Right, 2800 or thereabouts is where the gap gets filled. 2833 or something. So yeah, I don't really know. I don't know if this is enough for them or not. Right, money flow's still thick. On the 4 hour, it is coming down. Don't necessarily have glaring divergences. The ES, the money flow on ES is a bit more worrisome, like on the 12 hour, from this high to this high, but it seems like we had a nice push up here, even though it's diverging. Like this is damning to me. On the 12 hour, having this kind of thing going on, so we have like a regular bear div here. It's a full div with money flow, right? So like this to me, oof, well, you know, they could retrace hard, scare a lot of people, you know, get a lot of people out, or make them go short. So yeah, we have UK opening in 10 minutes. What sides of liquidity would I want them to swipe for me to be considering a direction trade? Well, if somehow they open here and they push up and then they take liquidity into this block, there's a chance I might look for some kind of short. If they swipe down, I'm a bit more cautious because of the structural implications of breaking the low on ES, right? Getting a lot of closes below this low would be a bit, I don't know, I'd just be kind of careful. I'd be kind of careful just because of this liquidity under here. Like if we came down, I kind of wanted to come into this pull, right? Money flow is coming out. We have a lot of vector recovery above us, and if we only compare vectors, we have this big green vector that was down here, right? Whether UK wants to dance around in here or not, I don't know. Money flow is rather thick. Put in like, we swing fail here and put in a hidden div, that might make a case to come back up into this. The thing is, this big move down, it didn't actually really change structure. I mean, I was kind of grasping at straws here for this change of character to locate it, because it was the only one I could really find, right? Greater structure wise, we're actually, believe it or not, we're kind of still bullish. We just had a lot of bearish activity up here, right? Yeah. So until we close down here, like we're still technically in a bullish, like we're in an uptrend, right? And even then, because this is the last liquidity grab, we can come into here and then like, you know, continue it, right? So yeah, it's a bit of a tricky environment. I'm gonna see what UK does, as always. Take it a bit slow. This is a very emotional kind of, a lot of emotional reactions to this, especially with the monthly close. Yeah, there could be some erratic behavior. We do take this as a internal break structure. Technically, so we took liquidity here. We took Tokyo's opening. Opening high. Here? Oh no, that was here. We took a bit more into Sydney. Whether this is enough for them to keep pushing down on UK Open, I don't know. Glaring liquidity below. Internally, we have a few cases for taking shorts from this area, right? This block, I think, could have some juice left in it if we came up into it. We could get some retracements. Vector at the base, not the cleanest bounce, right? Not the cleanest. These look nicer. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know. The way this is working now. You're looking for some kind of interaction with this wave. Right? We could come down here and money flow could still be like really thick pushing up. So I just be careful. Like this is a glaring area for me. Right? This is a glaring area. Whether this is used as a target for US and UK just decides to distribute or something inside here. Don't know. Yeah, UK could set up US by having a contained downtrend in here for US to clear all that liquidity. I'm just going to wait until UK opens, see how it interacts with all these levels. And because it's Friday, I'm going to take care with my trades because Friday can be a bit crazy. They run for profits, which makes me believe that they could run into here even more. Anyway, that's it. That's today. Yeah, be careful with where we are. All-time highs in the ES and all that. They could pull some nasty price action with all of this below us. So just be careful. And yeah, happy trading, guys. And we'll see you next week. Have a good weekend.